That familiar blue and yellow can. It sits on a shelf in nearly every garage, a silent promise of a quick fix for anything that squeaks, sticks, or stalls. We've all reached for it, confident in its power to solve our problems with a single spray. But what if I told you that the way most people use this iconic product is not only wrong, but is actively costing them thousands of dollars in hidden damages and catastrophic repair bills? What if the secret to making your car run like it just rolled off the factory floor, and the secret to avoiding a financial nightmare, both lie within understanding the true purpose of that very same can? Because this isn't just another video about car tips. This is a deep dive into the myths, the mistakes, and the professional-grade secrets surrounding one of the most misunderstood tools in the automotive world. We are going to dismantle the bad advice you've heard online and replace it with knowledge that will genuinely protect your vehicle and your wallet. Stay with me, because the information I'm about to share will fundamentally change how you look at car maintenance, and the bonus strategy at the end is something the best mechanics use but rarely ever talk about. If you're ready to transform your car care routine and start saving some serious cash, do me a favor right now and hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because our goal is to empower you with the kind of information that keeps your car on the road and money in your pocket. Let me know in the comments below. What's the craziest thing you've ever used WD-40 for? I'm genuinely curious to read your stories. Now, let's get straight to it and start with the most dangerous and costly mistake I see people make. A mistake that begins with an innocent but irritating sound. Picture this. You start your car, maybe it's a trusty Honda Civic or a hard-working Ford F-150, and you're greeted with a high-pitched squeal coming from under the hood. It's that awful, ear-piercing shriek of a belt that's clearly unhappy. Your first instinct, fueled by decades of common wisdom, might be to grab the can of WD-40, pop the hood, and give that noisy belt a quick spray. The squeal vanishes instantly. Problem solved, right? Absolutely not. You have just committed one of the gravest sins in auto maintenance and started a ticking clock on a potentially massive failure. To understand why this is so catastrophic, you need to understand what those belts are and how they work. We're talking about the serpentine belt, or on older cars, a set of V-belts. These aren't just simple rubber bands, they are complex components, typically made from a durable synthetic rubber like EPDM, ethylene propylene diene monomer. Their surface isn't smooth. It's designed with a specific texture and grip, often with multiple V-shaped ribs. The entire principle of their operation is based on one critical physical force: friction. These belts are the lifeline of your engine's accessories. They are spun by the engine's crankshaft, and through pure friction, they transfer that rotational energy to vital components. The alternator, which charges your battery and powers your car's entire electrical system, relies on this friction. The water pump, which circulates coolant to prevent your engine from melting itself into a lump of scrap metal, is driven by this friction. The power steering pump, which allows you to turn the steering wheel with ease, needs this friction. The air conditioning compressor, keeping you cool on a hot day, is powered by this friction. Now, what is the primary function of WD-40? It's a lubricant and a water displacer. Its formula contains petroleum-based oils designed specifically to reduce friction. When you spray WD-40 on a belt, you are effectively eliminating the very force it needs to do its job. That immediate silence you hear isn't the sound of a problem being fixed. It's the sound of the belt losing its grip and beginning to slip over the pulleys. Initially, the slip might be minor, but the consequences start immediately. The alternator won't spin at its required RPM, so your battery isn't charging properly. You might notice your headlights dimming at idle, or, eventually, the dreaded battery warning light will illuminate on your dashboard. The water pump slows down, meaning coolant isn't circulating efficiently. On a cool day, you might not notice, but in stop-and-go traffic or on a hot summer afternoon, your engine's temperature will start to creep up, pushing it closer and closer to the red zone of overheating. An overheated engine can lead to blown head gaskets, warped cylinder heads, and complete engine seizure, repairs that don't cost hundreds but many thousands of dollars. Your power steering might become heavy and unresponsive, especially during low-speed maneuvers like parking. Furthermore, the lubricant you've just applied will begin to break down the complex rubber compounds of the belt itself. The EPDM rubber is designed to resist oil and grease to a degree, but it is not meant to be saturated in a penetrating solvent like WD-40. The belt will become soft, gummy, shiny and start to stretch. A stretched belt can't maintain proper tension, leading to even more slipping. In the worst-case scenario, the softened, slipping belt can shred itself to pieces or jump off the pulleys entirely. When this happens, you lose everything at once. No power steering, no water pump, no alternator. Your car will die within minutes, leaving you stranded. And that shredded belt can whip around inside the engine bay, damaging other components like hoses, wiring, or even the radiator. So, what is the correct way to diagnose and fix a squealing belt? The noise is a symptom, not the disease. The first thing a professional does is a simple visual inspection. Look at the ribbed side of the belt. Do you see cracks, especially multiple cracks in a row? Is the rubber glazed and shiny, looking more like hard plastic than flexible rubber? Are pieces of the ribs missing? These are all clear signs that the belt has reached the end of its life and needs to be replaced. Replacing a serpentine belt is a routine maintenance item, and the cost of a new belt and the labor to install it is infinitesimally small compared to the cost of a new engine. If the belt looks to be in good condition, the next culprit is tension. Belts are held tight by a tensioner pulley, which can be spring-loaded or manually adjusted. Over time, the spring can weaken or the adjustment can loosen. A technician will use a special gauge to check the tension. If it's loose, a simple adjustment or the replacement of a worn-out tensioner pulley is the proper fix. Sometimes the noise isn't the belt at all, but one of the pulleys it's driving. The bearings inside the alternator, power steering pump, or an idler pulley can fail, causing a squeaking or grinding noise that sounds very similar to a slipping belt. A mechanic can use a stethoscope to isolate the sound and identify the faulty component. Spraying WD-40 on the belt only masks this underlying problem, allowing the bad bearing to deteriorate further until it seizes completely, which will snap the belt and cause the same catastrophic failure. The bottom line is unequivocal. Keep WD-40 far, far away from your engine's belts. It is not a fix, it is a fast track to failure. Let's move from under the hood to where the rubber literally meets the road. This next mistake is just as dangerous, if not more so, because it directly compromises the single most important safety system on your vehicle, your tires. We all love a clean car, and part of that just detailed look is a set of deep, black, shiny tires. It makes any car, from a brand new Porsche to a 20-year-old Toyota Camry, look sharper. In pursuit of this look, many people reach for that same blue and yellow can. They spray a liberal coating of WD-40 over the sidewalls of their tires, wipe it around, and stand back to admire the glossy, wet finish. It looks fantastic for a few minutes, but what they have just done is create an incredibly hazardous situation. This is a disastrous idea for two primary reasons. The first, and most critical, is safety. The purpose of WD-40 is to lubricate and reduce friction. The purpose of your tires is to create friction, or grip, with the road surface. This grip is what allows your car to accelerate, to turn, and, most importantly, to stop. The part of the tire that contacts the road is called the contact patch, and the entire science of tire design is focused on maximizing the grip within that small area. When you spray WD-40 on your tires, it's impossible to contain it perfectly to the sidewall. The overspray inevitably gets onto the tread, the part that actually touches the pavement. Even a thin, invisible layer of this lubricant drastically reduces the tire's coefficient of friction. Now, imagine you're driving on a perfectly dry day. You approach a stoplight and press the brake pedal. Normally, your tires grip the asphalt and bring you to a smooth, controlled stop. But with a lubricated tread, that grip is compromised. Your braking distance will be significantly longer. In an emergency braking situation where every foot matters, this could be the difference between a close call and a serious collision. Now let's add a bit of water. Driving in the rain is already more dangerous because water acts as a lubricant between the tire and the road, reducing grip. Tire treads are designed with intricate channels and grooves specifically to siphon water out from under the contact patch to prevent a phenomenon called hydroplaning, where the tire essentially skis on a thin film of water, losing all traction. If you've coated that tread with a water-displacing oil like WD-40, you have made your tires almost completely hydrophobic. Water won't be channeled away, it will be actively repelled, making the tire want to float on the surface. This dramatically increases the risk of hydroplaning, even at low speeds, leading to a complete loss of steering and braking control. Taking a corner, even a gentle one, could send the car into a spin. The safety implications are terrifyingly real. real. The second reason this is a bad idea relates to the health of the tire itself. Just like the engine belts, tires are made of complex rubber compounds blended with oils and chemicals like carbon black and silica to give them specific properties of grip, durability, and flexibility. The petroleum distillates in the WD-40 formula are solvents. When you apply them to the sidewall of a tire, they begin to leach the essential oils and protective chemicals out of the rubber. Over time, this causes the rubber to dry out, become brittle, and can lead to premature aging and the formation of cracks, a condition known as dry rot. A cracked, brittle sidewall compromises the structural integrity of the tire and increases the risk of a sudden and catastrophic blowout while driving at speed. So, in the quest for a temporary shine, you are actively destroying your tires from the inside out and putting yourself in grave danger. So, how do you get that deep black shine safely? You use products specifically formulated for that purpose. There is a massive market for tire dressings or tire shine products available at any auto parts store. These products fall into two main categories: water-based and solvent-based. Water-based dressings, which often contain silicone suspended in water, are generally considered the best choice. They provide a rich, satin, or glossy finish without harmful solvents. They are absorbed into the rubber's micropores, nourishing it and providing UV protection to prevent fading and cracking. They are not greasy and are less likely to sling onto your car's paint as the tire rotates. Solvent-based shines can provide a wetter, glossier look, but you should choose high-quality versions that use refined silicones and are designed to be safe for rubber. The key is that these products are designed to enhance the look without compromising the tire's composition, and most importantly, they are meant to be applied only to the sidewall, never the tread. A proper application involves spraying the product onto an applicator pad or cloth and carefully wiping it onto the sidewall, giving you complete control and preventing any dangerous overspray. Let's continue this journey of myth-busting and move to the largest and most visible part of your car, the paint. This is another area where the allure of a quick fix with WD-40 leads people down a path of long-term damage. The myth goes that if your car's paint is looking a little dull or you want to hide some minor scratches before a date or car meet, a quick spray of WD-40 and a wipe down will give it a deep, wet-looking shine. And just like with the belts and the tires, it appears to work for a few moments. The oily film fills in microscopic imperfections and creates a temporary reflective surface. The car looks glossy and vibrant, but here is what's actually happening. Modern automotive paint is a sophisticated multi-layer system. It starts with a layer of primer on the bare metal for adhesion and corrosion resistance. Then comes the base coat, which is the layer that contains the actual color of your car. Finally, and most importantly for protection, is the clear coat. This is a tough, transparent layer of acrylic or urethane paint designed to protect the color coat from UV rays, acid rain, bird droppings, scratches, and other environmental contaminants. It's what gives your car its depth and gloss. The formula of WD-40 contains petroleum-based solvents and oils. When you spray this onto your car's clear coat, two bad things happen. First, the oily residue it leaves behind is a magnet for dust, dirt, pollen, and road grime. Within hours, your shiny car will be covered in a film of gritty, abrasive particles. When you go to wipe it off, you are essentially rubbing this fine grit sandpaper all over your paint, inducing a network of fine scratches and swirl marks that will permanently dull the finish. Your car will end up looking far worse than it did before you started. Second, and far more insidiously, those petroleum distillates can, with repeated use, begin to soften and break down the protective clear coat. It won't happen overnight, but over time, it will compromise the integrity of that crucial protective layer. The clear coat will lose its ability to block harmful UV radiation, causing the color coat underneath to fade and oxidize, especially on darker colored cars. It becomes weaker and more susceptible to etching from bird droppings or water spots. Eventually, the clear coat can begin to fail entirely, leading to a condition where it peels away from the base coat, leaving milky, hazy patches. This kind of damage is irreversible. The only fix is a complete repaint of the affected panel, which can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. People selling a used car sometimes use this trick to give a neglected paint job a quick, temporary shine to deceive a potential buyer. The shine lasts just long enough for the sale to go through, and the new owner is left with a paint job that quickly deteriorates. The correct way to make your car's paint shine is to follow a proper detailing process. It starts with a safe wash, using a dedicated car wash soap, not dish soap, which strips wax, and the 2-bucket method to prevent scratching. For a deeper clean and to restore a smooth-as-glass feel, you can use a clay bar to remove embedded contaminants. If the paint has scratches or swirl marks, a machine polisher with the appropriate compound and pad can safely remove a microscopic layer of the clear coat to level out the surface and restore a flawless, mirror-like reflection. Finally, to get that deep, lasting shine and to protect the paint, you must apply a layer of protection. This can be a traditional Carnauba wax for a warm, deep glow, a synthetic paint sealant for longer-lasting durability, or the ultimate in protection, a ceramic coating, which forms a hard, chemical-resistant layer that can last for years. Brands like Megiars, Chemical Guys, or Turtle Wax offer a huge range of these products that are specifically engineered to be safe for and beneficial to your car's paint. They don't just create a temporary shine, they bond to the clear coat, enhance its gloss, and provide a sacrificial barrier against the elements. So, please leave the WD-40 for stuck bolts and use dedicated car care products to keep your paint looking its best. Now, I have to introduce a fourth, and perhaps the most critically dangerous, place you should never, ever spray WD-40: your brakes. This might sound like a no-brainer to some, but you would be shocked at how often this happens. The scenario usually involves a car that has developed a brake squeal. It's an annoying, high-pitched noise that occurs when you press the brake pedal. In a misguided attempt to lubricate the squeaky part, someone might take their can of WD-40 and spray it directly onto the brake caliper and, in the process, all over the brake rotor and brake pads. This is, without any exaggeration, a potentially fatal mistake. Your car's braking system is a hydraulic system that converts your foot pressure on the pedal into immense clamping force at the wheels. The brake caliper squeezes a pair of brake pads against a spinning metal disc called the rotor. The entire system is based on one principle: converting kinetic energy, the motion of the car, into thermal energy, heat through friction. The brake pads are made of a special high-friction material designed to grip the cast iron rotor with incredible force. When you spray a lubricant like WD-40 onto these components, you completely eliminate that friction. The brake pads will no longer be able to grip the rotor. You will press the brake pedal, the caliper will squeeze, but the pads will just slide uselessly over the oily surface of the rotor. Your car will not stop. It is the automotive equivalent of trying to run on a sheet of ice in leather-soled dress shoes. There is no grip, no traction, and no stopping power. The brake pedal will feel normal, but the car will just keep rolling. Even a small amount of overspray can be enough to significantly increase your stopping distance, but a direct application can lead to a total and complete brake failure. The irony is that brake squeal is rarely caused by a part that needs lubrication in the way people think. Most often, the squeal is caused by a high-frequency vibration between the brake pads and the caliper or rotor. It can be caused by brake pads that are worn down to their built-in wear indicators, which are small metal tabs designed to contact the rotor and make a noise to tell you it's time for new pads. It can be caused by glazing on the pad or rotor surface from overheating. It can be caused by rust buildup on the rotor after the car has been sitting, or it can be caused by the lack of a special high-temperature brake grease on the correct contact points, such as the back of the brake pads where they touch the caliper piston and brackets. A professional brake service involves cleaning all the components and applying this specific grease to these non-friction contact points to dampen vibrations. Spraying WD-40 everywhere is the absolute worst thing you could possibly do. If your brakes are making noise, take your car to a qualified mechanic immediately. Do not attempt a quick fix that could cost you your life. Okay, we have spent a lot of time on what not to do. We've established that WD-40 is not the solution for noisy belts, shiny tires, dull paint, or squeaky brakes. Now, let's pivot and talk about what this incredibly versatile product is actually designed for, and how, when used correctly, it can be a genuine automotive superhero that saves you time, frustration, and money. The clue is right in the name, WD-40. The WD stands for water displacement, and the 40 signifies that it was the 40th formula the developing chemists tried. It was originally invented in the 1950s not for household use, but for the aerospace industry to protect the outer skin of the Atlas missile from rust and corrosion. Its primary, number one function is to drive out moisture, and it does this better than almost anything else. This is where it can be a lifesaver for your car. Modern vehicles are packed with complex electrical systems, connectors, sensors, and computers. While they are designed to be weather-resistant, water can still find its way into places it shouldn't be. Perhaps you were a bit too enthusiastic while pressure washing your engine bay. Maybe you drove through a massive, unavoidable puddle during a torrential downpour. Or maybe you live in a very humid coastal environment where moisture is constantly in the air. When water gets into electrical connections, it can cause short circuits, corrosion on the metal pins, and a host of bizarre, hard-to-diagnose electrical gremlins. Your car might refuse to start, misfire, or have warning lights flashing on the dash. This is the perfect emergency scenario for WD-40. Let's say your car starts running rough after hitting a big puddle. You can pop the hood and spray a small amount of WD-40 onto the distributor cap on an older car, the coil packs, the spark plug wires, and other visible electrical connectors. The unique formula of WD-40 gets underneath the water, breaks the surface tension, and pushes it out. It's a non-conductor, so it won't cause a short circuit itself, and it will leave behind a thin, moisture-resistant film. In many cases, this is enough to resolve the issue and get your car running smoothly again, potentially saving you an expensive tow and a diagnostic fee at a garage. It's an incredible tool for roadside emergencies. However, it is crucial to understand that in this application, WD-40 is a temporary fix, a first-aid treatment. It gets you out of a jam, but the protective film it leaves is very thin and doesn't last forever. If you have persistent moisture issues, or you are working on a more permanent repair, the professional-grade solution is to use a dedicated product like dielectric grease. After cleaning a connector and ensuring it's dry, perhaps with a quick spray of WD-40 followed by compressed air, you would apply a small amount of dielectric grease to the inside of the connector before reassembling it. This grease is a thick, silicone-based compound that seals the connection, providing a long-term barrier against moisture, salt, and dirt, preventing corrosion for years. So, think of WD-40 as the emergency response team and dielectric grease as the permanent fortification. Keeping a can of WD-40 in your trunk is one of the smartest, cheapest forms of insurance you can have. Next, let's talk about the use that most people associate with WD-40: fighting rust and freeing stuck parts. This is where it truly shines and lives up to its legendary reputation. Rust, or iron oxide, is the result of a chemical reaction between iron and oxygen in the presence of water. It forms a brittle, expansive layer that can seize threaded parts like bolts and nuts together with incredible force. Imagine you're trying to do a simple repair, like changing your own oil, but the drain plug is rusted solid. Or you're trying to remove a wheel, but the lug nuts haven't been touched in years and are fused to the studs. You can put a wrench on it and pull with all your might, but it won't budge. You risk stripping the head of the bolt or even snapping it off, turning a simple job into a major headache. This is the moment to reach for the WD-40. Armed with its thin straw applicator, you can precisely spray the product right at the point where the threads meet. The magic of WD-40 is its incredibly low viscosity and high surface tension, which allows it to penetrate deep into the microscopic cracks and crevices of the rust. It works its way down the threads, acting as both a solvent to help break down the rust bond and a lubricant to reduce the friction. The key is to be patient. Give it a few minutes, or in severe cases, even longer, to work its way in. You can tap the bolt head lightly with a hammer to create vibrations that help the oil penetrate even further. After letting it soak, you'll often find that the once immovable bolt now breaks free with a satisfying crack and can be unscrewed with relative ease. It can save you hours of frustration, busted knuckles, and the cost of having to drill out a broken bolt. It is an absolute must-have for anyone who works on their own car, especially if it's an older vehicle or one that has lived in a region where roads are salted in the winter. Beyond just freeing stuck parts, WD-40 is also excellent for rust prevention. Its water displacement properties mean it can create a thin, protective barrier on bare metal surfaces. If you have a deep paint chip that has gone down to the bare metal, cleaning the area and spraying it with a touch of WD-40 can prevent rust from forming until you can get a proper touch-up paint repair done. You can use it to coat tools, the metal parts of your jack and jack stands, or exposed parts of your car's undercarriage to give them a layer of protection against the elements, especially in humid or salty environments. Again, this is not a permanent solution like a thick undercoating or paint, and it will need to be reapplied periodically, but as a quick, easy, and cheap preventative measure, it's fantastic. Now let's discuss another one of its classic and highly effective uses, as a light-duty lubricant for silencing squeaks and creaks. This is probably the most common household use, but it translates perfectly to your car. Think about every moving part you interact with daily. That annoying squeak from a door hinge every time you open it. The groaning sound the hood latch makes, a sticky trunk lock, or a seat that's hard to slide back and forth on its rails. These are all perfect applications for a quick spray of WD-40. Its penetrating ability allows it to get into the tight tolerances of hinges and lock mechanisms, while its lubricating oils provide immediate relief from the friction that's causing the noise. A quick spray into the keyhole of a stiff door lock, followed by inserting and working the key a few times, can make it feel brand new. A shot into the door hinge mechanism will instantly cure that embarrassing squeak. It works because it's thin enough to get where it needs to go and provides just enough lubrication for these low-stress intermittent movements. It also cleans out the gunk and dirt that may have been causing the problem in the first place. But this brings us to the professional-level secret I promised at the beginning. This is the tip that separates the amateurs from the pros and elevates WD-40 from a simple quick fix to part of a comprehensive maintenance strategy. While WD-40 is an excellent penetrant, cleaner, and light short-term lubricant, it is not a robust, long-lasting grease. For parts that are under constant load or exposed to the elements, like your car's door hinges, you need something more durable. This is where you employ the 1-2 punch technique. First, you use WD-40 as the cleaner. You spray it liberally into the door hinge to flush out all the old, dried-up grease, dirt, and rust particles. You work the door back and forth and wipe away all the black, grimy residue that drips out. Now the hinge is perfectly clean, but it's only protected by a very thin film of oil. Now comes step 2, the protector. You follow up with a dedicated, long-lasting lubricant. For something like a door hinge, a spray-on white lithium grease is an excellent choice. It goes on as a thin liquid to penetrate into the hinge, and then thickens up into a durable grease that will stay in place, resist being washed out by rain, and provide smooth, silent operation for many months or even years. This same principle applies to other areas. Are your power windows slow to go up and down? The tracks are likely full of dirt. Don't just spray a thick grease in there, as that will attract even more dirt. Instead, use the 1-2 punch. Step 1. Carefully spray WD-40 into the window tracks and use a cloth to clean out all the grime. Step 2. After it's clean and dry, apply a spray-on silicone lubricant. Silicone spray provides a slick, dry film that lubricates the parts without leaving a sticky residue, ensuring your windows glide smoothly without attracting new contaminants. By using WD-40 as the cleaner and penetrant, and then following up with the correct long-term lubricant for the specific job, be it white lithium grease, silicone spray, or dielectric grease, you are performing maintenance at a truly professional level. You are not just solving the immediate problem, you are cleaning, preparing, and protecting the component for the long haul. This simple combination is the key to preventing parts from wearing out, saving you a fortune in replacement costs over the life of your car. The versatility of this product doesn't stop there. There are dozens of other clever, effective, and safe uses for WD-40 on your vehicle. It is a fantastic cleaner for removing stubborn substances. If you have tar or asphalt splattered along the lower panels of your car from road construction, a little WD-40 on a microfiber cloth will dissolve it instantly, allowing you to wipe it it away without harsh scrubbing that could scratch your paint. It's also incredibly effective at removing the sticky adhesive residue left behind by old bumper stickers, decals, or dealership badges. Just spray it on, let it soak for a minute, and the gunk will peel right off. Of course, after using it as a solvent on your paint for these specific tasks, you must immediately wash the area with car soap and water to remove any oily residue and then apply a coat of wax for protection. It can also be a great helper in the garage. It can clean grease and grime off your tools, leaving them with a light protective coating. It can be used to polish chrome surfaces like bumpers or wheels to a brilliant shine, though a dedicated chrome polish is better for long-term protection. It can even help remove a stuck spark plug from an engine cylinder head, though you must be careful to only apply a small amount and prevent it from dripping into the cylinder itself. The ultimate takeaway from all of this is that WD-40 is not a magic, do-it-all elixir. It is a specialized tool, and like any tool, using it for the wrong job can have disastrous consequences, while using it for the right job can yield incredible results. It is not a belt dressing, a tire shine, a paint polish, or a brake lubricant. It is a water displacer, a rust penetrant, a light-duty lubricant, and an excellent cleaner. Understanding this distinction is what will save you thousands. It will keep your engine's vital components running, your tires gripping the road, your paint protected, and your brakes working flawlessly. It will empower you to fix things correctly, to maintain your car with confidence, and to avoid the costly mistakes that so many unknowing car owners make every single day. The secret isn't in the can itself, but in the knowledge of how and when to use it. So, if you've made it this far, you are now armed with the kind of knowledge that can genuinely make your car run better and last longer. You've learned the critical mistakes to avoid and the professional techniques to embrace. If this video has helped you, if you've learned something new that will change the way you care for your car, then please give it a massive thumbs up. It truly helps the channel reach and help more people just like you. Make sure you are subscribed with the notification bell turned on, because we are constantly releasing new content designed to save you money and headaches. And now I really want to hear from you. Comment below and tell me, what was the biggest surprise for you in this video? Or share your own success story of how you used WD-40 the right way to save the day. Your experiences are what make this community so valuable, and don't stop here. This channel is a resource, a library of practical, real-world advice to help you navigate the complexities of car ownership. Browse through our other videos, where we cover everything from common scams to avoid to simple maintenance tricks that mechanics don't always share. There's a world of information waiting for you that will build your confidence and make you a smarter, more capable car owner. Thank you so much for your time and for your commitment to taking better care of your vehicle. The next time you see that iconic blue and yellow can, you won't see it as a simple problem solver, but as a specific tool with a specific purpose. You'll know its power, you'll respect its limitations, and you'll be able to use it to your advantage, ensuring your car stays safe, reliable, and running like new for years to come. Drive safe, take care of your machine, and we'll see you in the next video.